Rock isn't dead. It's in flux.
Hi, everyone. I'm Britt with Rock and Flux, and I am joined today by the band French Police. Thank you guys for being with me here today. I appreciate it. As a starting point, can you each just say your name and then what you do in the band?
Yeah, I'm Brian. I sing in the band, play rhythm guitar.
My name is Manny, and I play lead guitar.
Thank you both for being here with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
So you are based out of Chicago.
Yes.
And can you kind of give me some background on how you all got started in general playing music, and then how French Police kind of came to be?
Yeah. I started making music since I was like 15, 16, under like a different band. I was called Carmore's White Ties. It was like an indie pop band. So that's kind of how like I got started in like the whole music thing, playing in a band and all that. And then years later, 2019, is when I decided to switch over to like a different style of music, which is what French Police is now. And yeah, we did that for about like a year until like the pandemic hit, and it kind of just became like a solo project. Everybody from the band just left. That's when Manny here came into the band.
Yeah, I joined the band like I think was it 2021,
Yeah,
and then I've just been here ever since.
Yeah.
Cool. So you released your debut album, which was self-titled, in 2019.
Right.
So can you kind of tell me how you feel your songwriting has maybe changed since you first started, because it was a solo project, to now when you're writing songs? Do you do a lot of that together in the same space? Or is it kind of working on things individually and then, bringing them when you have them more fleshed out?
No, I mean, I still to this day produce and write all the music myself. And then that's afterwards, once I'm done with the song, the guys will learn it for live. There are some times when they do come up with
Yeah, every now and then, like we'll like pitch in like a riff or something like that to help write a song. But Brian does all like for sure all of the writing and producing.
Right.
Cool. And so, like, you released your debut in 2019, and then you followed that in 2020 with Haunted Castle. And I feel like when you all started, and maybe it's just me the way I'm listening to it, but I feel like your first album wasn't necessarily as like with the new wave and like that 80s feel that I feel like your music is now. It more felt like a little more indie and shoegazy kind of. Am I hearing that correctly? Did it kind of evolve to what it is now? And I felt like that started coming up more.
You're saying like the first album?
Yeah, like I feel like I heard yes, like the new wave to me started coming up more in Haunted Castle than in your first album.
Yeah, because I think the first album I was coming off of like, I don't know about shoegazy, but it was definitely probably still influenced by like indie. Because like I said, I had like an indie pop project before French Police. And I was trying to figure out like what my new sound was going to be, and I think I was listening to. I guess you can credit like Motorama, that band from Russia, for like kind of giving me like, because they're a little like, they're not new wave and all that, but they are like a little dark.
How did you kind of start getting more into the dark wave, new wave influence? Because I definitely hear it more on Haunted Castle.
Yeah, I think it was just, honestly, it was just kind of like I listened to a couple bands that I was like, that kind of sounds pretty cool, like to make pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote like over 30 songs for Haunted Castle. I was just like trying stuff out. But yeah, and then I just kind of stuck, it kind of sounded cool. I'm trying to kind of veer off of that a little bit now. Not so much like new wavy, dark stuff, but still, having that somewhat that style still implemented into the sound.
Right. And I noticed too that you do most of your music is in English, but you do have some songs that are totally in Spanish. What makes you decide what language a song is in?
It just depends on, it's because I usually make the lyrics last and the vocals last. I'll feel out the music first, record all the instrumentals, and then after I'll add the lyrics, and it's like, I'll just step up to the mic and kind of like a freestyle way, I'll just start saying stuff. And it comes out in Spanish, it'll be in Spanish. If it comes out in English, I don't really like put that much thought into it.
And it was interesting for me when I was listening to Haunted Castle, certain songs, like, for example, like Sushi and Sax, like it has a very Joy Division sound to me. Is that an influence? Is that band an influence to you? Or what would you say your influences are today?
No, not really. I mean, Joy Division's cool and all that, but I don't really consider them like a big inspiration. So who I listen to now mostly, because I don't really listen to that much music. When I do, it's like a band. There's one band from Russia, they're called Burak, and then another band from Spain called El Último Vecino. If you mix those two bands, it's probably like as close to French police as you can get.
Let me ask you this. Why don't you listen to a lot of other music? Like, is just not, do you find that it's like distracting to you, or is it just not something?
I don't know. I mean, I've always been that way where like I don't really like to listen to music. I rather make it. So if I hear something, I become almost envious or jealous, and I'm like, I can make this, so I'm just gonna write my own version or my own song. You know?
Huh. That's an interesting perspective. I don't know if I've ever heard.
No, of course it's weird. I know it's
Yeah.
weird. Like people are like, "What the fuck? You don't listen to music?" But yeah. But I do appreciate music. I rather make it.
I can understand that. So you re-released Haunted Castle in 2021 and you added a bunch of songs to it. What made you decide to re-release instead of doing like a fully new album?
So it wasn't really a re-release. It was just more of like some more of the songs that I had written originally for Haunted Castle, because I wrote like over 30 and I only put 15 on there. And so I was listening to some of the demos that I had written, and I was like, some of these are kind of good. And so I was like, I'm just going to release it as like an extended version of it, an extended play, I guess. We just decided to release it as just like another 8 demos that were going to be part of the Haunted Castle album, but they didn't make it, I guess.
And so Vampiro, which I think is one of your most popular songs, was added to that. Had you already written it? Because it kind of, I mean, like that song kind of goes with the concept of a haunted castle.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that song was actually, I think I had written in the early stages of when I was writing Haunted Castle, but I didn't think it was going to be good or anything like that. You know, it was a pretty shitty song in my opinion. You know, it was like a demo. I didn't even have the original file for it. It's just like an MP3 file I had, and I just decided to add it on there because I was like, why not? Kind of complete, right?
Were you surprised?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how it became our most popular song, and it was just like a MP3 file that was sitting on my computer.
I mean, all quality recording aside, like even though
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
funny.
an MP3, it's still. I think it's just because of how catchy it is. You know,
Yeah, it's something
it's got
about
a
it.
catchy sound, something it resonates.
So we've talked a little bit about your songwriting and some of your albums so far. For someone who has maybe never listened to your music before, if they ask you, you know, what song should I start out listening to? Which one do you think you would suggest to them?
Honestly, that's a hard one because I feel like, in my opinion, my music changes a lot. I mean, it still has the same French police sound, but it kind of like varies. But I would probably pick Jet de Vue or maybe anything off like the Pedaleo Nocturno EP.
Okay. Let's take a listen to it, a clip of it.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So what about that song would make you choose it? Why do you think it is a good starting point for people to get into your music?
I think it's because when I released that EP, that's kind of like where I thought, like I kind of consider it to be like, all right, this is a sound that we're gonna move forward with. And I feel like you can hear a little bit of that EP in anything that I do now, you know. And it's also just a good song. So
Can I also say like what song I would pick if I were to like say someone who hasn't listened to the band?
We can play two different ones if you all don't agree. So if you have a different opinion, yes.
Okay, I think the song "Dance with Me" of Haunted Castle. I think for me personally, at least, if someone were to want to listen to French Police, that would be the song that I would suggest to them because I think overall it has like that like original like feel. I don't know like of what
it's
the type of
probably,
music that we play.
yeah, it's probably a better suggestion than mine, Monkey.
Not better, but I guess just different.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's give that a listen to, a clip of that too. And then our listeners can decide which one they feel is better representation. And you chose that song because you just feel it maybe shows the overall vibe of the band
Yeah,
a little bit more.
pretty much.
Okay. Music is a subjective thing, so that's the great thing about it is everyone can form their own opinion. Because it was funny for me to hear that you didn't really even necessarily like the song Vampiro, but people do. So you never know what's gonna click in people's heads. So this year you released Blue, and it's kind of I think kept with the overall vibe of your music. I really like the song Honey. I think that's like a really cool song that is on there. And
Thank you.
you kind of kept the same idea of like some songs are in Spanish and some songs are in English. I also one thing I did notice when I was listening to you on Spotify is that you all have the lyrics for pretty much all of your music included on there, which I also think is really cool because not all bands do that. But whether you're writing in a language someone doesn't speak or not, like it's just helpful to sometimes be able to like see what a song is saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was something that I noticed that I appreciated.
Yeah, a lot of the fans ask for the lyrics, so it's kind of like they attack us about them, like lyrics. So we're just like, we got to just release them with the songs, you know?
Yeah, it's helpful to have, and like sometimes you want to make sure that you're understanding what a song is saying, like
Right.
officially,
Yeah.
So I think that is a good thing to have. So some of the stuff you all have coming up, you're going to be going on tour this fall, starting in September, right? Can you kind of tell me a little bit about that tour and what you have planned for it?
Yeah, like you said, it's gonna be in September. It's basically the whole month. We're gonna do 21 cities, all in the U.S. So yeah, it's our biggest tour so far.
Yeah, it's definitely our biggest tour. Usually we split up. Well, we split up West Coast tour and our East Coast tour last year, but this time we're going to do it all together.
Yeah, I think it's just better to just do it all at once, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I've heard that like almost all of your California dates are sold out officially, right?
Yeah, the region in LA is sold out. Pomona is sold out, and I think San Diego has 3 tickets left. It might be sold out already, but last time I checked.
So that feels probably pretty good.
Yeah, it feels cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely surprising. I didn't think it would sell out like before the tour. It's pretty cool.
Is there anything that you're excited about going on this tour because it's all at once, or like any concerns or worries about it?
My thing for me, it's the cool thing about it is that we're gonna be touring with like Lesser
Friends,
Care
yeah.
and Close Tier, which are they're kind of like our friends, you know, like we've played shows with them before, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're chill guys. I think that's what we're looking forward to for this tour at least. It's just like it's gonna feel more like just fun.
Like an at home kind of feeling because we'll be
Yeah.
playing shows with them, like all our shows we'll be playing, as opposed to like playing with bands that we probably don't know like that.
Right. Sometimes it gets a little awkward in the green room.
Yeah, that's true. I can
But,
understand. Anything that you are like excited about to going into this tour, or and also like actually here's a question too. What can people expect from your live show? And how much is your music live like the recorded version? Is it very similar, or do you try to, keep them kind of different?
I think it's different, but not by choice. We're not like super talented. Like
I mean, like
I don't know.
we do try to change it up a little bit live, like especially I think from the guitar playing aspect,
For sure.
try to change it up a little bit, like a riff or just add stuff.
That's true. You guys do
to add like a little more to that live feeling, so people could just be like, oh, like it's different, than the recording.
But it is a little different.
How do you feel people react to that? Do they? I mean, most of the time, I feel like people are happy to hear a little bit of difference. But how do you feel like the crowd reaction has been?
I mean, I think from what we can tell, I mean, I don't think they don't care that it sounds different or they don't really notice. But either way, the crowd's always great. So, I mean, we have to be doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, I think people like it. Like they like hearing the songs live, and sometimes like people will like maybe share like a cover or something. Like they'll play a song, and like they'll even add like the little like extra riffs that
okay.
either I or like Jesse played live.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess people like it then, the little differences.
Yeah, I think people appreciate it.
That's cool.
Cool. Do you have any new music coming up too? Like any other stuff that you would maybe want people to know ahead of this tour coming up, or anything new that they can expect to hear if they go to a show?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can announce. It depends on when this is going to be released, but if not, you can cut it out. Yeah, we have a new album coming out in January. We're going to release 2 singles before that, though, that are going to be part of the album. One in September. So we'll actually be playing that single live throughout the whole tour. So that's something people can expect, a new song. And then another one in November. So
that'll be good.
Yeah.
Like a little lead up to the official release. And I've also heard that you have some new merch that's going to be available soon as well.
Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to have like new items and merch too, not just like shirts and stuff. So hopefully people like that stuff.
Do you all print any vinyl, or do you print any of your music? And if so, what format do you typically try to print it in?
Yeah, we've done Haunted Castle on vinyl before, and we're kind of bad on it. Like our old management just kind of sucked, but but now we're gonna have vinyl on this tour. So Blue will be on vinyl. We'll have that for sale.
Do you? It's funny, this conversation, this topic has come up, a few times, and I don't know if either of you have an opinion on it, but there is like a topic of vinyl versus CD, because like a lot of bands are also starting to print CDs and even cassette tapes again. And I don't know if you would have a thought or an opinion on if you'd ever do that.
I mean, personally speaking, me, I fucking hate vinyl. I don't get what the big deal about it is. I rather just listen to it on my phone, But I think I get it though.
Yeah, you can appreciate like people like that vintage aspect of having a vinyl. So
yeah, the physicalness of it.
Yeah, like owning a physical copy of a vinyl. But we also had cassettes too.
I rather do cassettes though. I think I prefer cassettes. I think they look
cassettes
cool.
are also pretty cool.
There is like a nostalgia to it, right? Because it's like I don't know, how often can you get something? And I think it also speaks to, like, people wanna feel a little level of ownership. Like, I love streaming too, and it's how I found I mean, I think a lot of people, like, that's how you find new music nowadays. But it is also cool to feel like you have a physical copy of something, and then also feel like you're supporting whatever band or artist you like, because, just listening to it on a streaming platform isn't necessarily gonna do much for them. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you like the band a lot, it's kind of like cool to have, like you said, have something of theirs.
yeah, it becomes like a collection type of thing, and, I mean, as far as, like, sound quality goes, I think CDs are probably the best sound quality-wise, if people care about that. If they don't, then,
I guess sometimes people like that, like low quality sound. That lo-fi kind of sound.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, and what else so you have a new album coming out, 2 new singles that and one of them you're gonna be playing, when you're playing live. How many tours have you all gone on at this point? Is this your
This is like our second tour, I think.
Second? No,
I mean, it's because we, like you said, we split up.
yeah. I mean,
We did one West Coast show, and I mean one West Coast tour, and then we did
a small East Coast and then a small Texas tour. So I guess if you want to count those, you could say this
maybe
is
like our fourth. This is our fourth, like, but this is the biggest, I guess you could say.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I do one thing I also wanted to ask that I ask everybody who comes on this show. The whole, concept of this is that rock isn't dead, it's in flux. And when I say rock, it doesn't mean necessarily what some people define rock music as. It's really just like people creating music in their own way. And I don't think it's dead. I think it's just in flux. So I would be curious what your mentality is on that. And also how you define, rock as a quote unquote term.
Well, you're saying that like rock could mean anybody making music.
I mean, yes, because some people say that rock music has to have like somebody playing guitar. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think some electronic music could have like more of a rock vibe, even if it doesn't have someone literally playing guitar in it.
Yeah, I think it's just people like to hold on to like titles of things. Rock was a very big thing back then. And it signified something. And to call something that's electronic rock now, I think hurts people sometimes or something.
Yeah, like they don't want to accept that could be rock music.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, who cares like what it's called, right? It's music is music, as long as people like it. I don't really care what it's called. Yeah, I don't make music for the titles or anything like that.
One of the recent conversations I had, they were saying that like some kids that they see on TikTok and other like areas, I guess culturally, they say that like playing guitar is lame. I was like really surprised to hear that.
It is a little lame. It gets boring, especially nowadays.
I wouldn't say it's lame. It's just you either like it or you don't. Like
Yeah.
I think if you were to pick up a guitar and be like, I'm gonna impress somebody so bad with this,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
not.
think you could. But
Right.
like I think if you really enjoy it, like me, that's why I started playing guitar because I just thought it was fun. Thought it'd be something cool to do for myself.
If you love it, you love it.
Right. I mean, and that's why people play different instruments.
Exactly.
Right. But and for me too, I feel like rock and roll is like an attitude, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. It's kind of like punk, like it came out of not wanting to go with the norm and wanting to walk your own path and do things your own way. And I don't think that that's really ever going to go out of style. Any other things that you would maybe want listeners to know? Any other, thoughts or things you would want to share before we finish up our conversation?
Not really. I mean, just hopefully everyone's ready for the new album. It's gonna be.
Yeah, hopefully everyone likes it.
It's my favorite so far. So hopefully people agree.
Big statement. So
Oh, yeah, maybe I should have said that, huh? But
no, I mean, if it is your favorite work, that gives people something to look forward to.
true. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything, Manny.
No, just looking forward to tour.
Yeah, well, I think I'm, excited to hear the new music. I'm excited to see you all when you play here in Phoenix. And yeah, I think your stuff is great. So thanks guys for being with me today. It was really great to get to talk to you, and I appreciate you being here.
Oh yeah, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hopefully we see you in Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Girl, you cool. Is it me? I don't know. Yeah.